And so how did your father make his way west?
Well, he was very adventurous, even as a young man, and he had read Treasure of the Sierra Madre by B. Traven. So he had this romantic notion of Mexico, and he just wanted to see it. So after he graduated from high school, he traveled to Mexico, but he did it in a very unusual way. He hitchhiked, and he hopped freight trains. And whenever he needed money along the way, he would pick crops with the migrants. And so it took him about 3 to 4 weeks to travel from Ohio to Chihuahua. But he finally made it, and he fell in love with this country that he had known only by a single book. So he went back to Ohio. He went to school. He went to 2 colleges, Virginia and Kenyon, but school wasn't for him. So he quit before he earned his degree. And then somehow he found his way back to Texas, this time as a journalist, first in San Antonio and then in El Paso. And it was in El Paso that he met my mother, whose maiden name was Amado Muro. So it was then that he developed his pseudonym, which was an adaptation of her name, Amado Muro. But not only did he use a pseudonym, he actually developed the persona of a Mexican. So in fact, this Anglo from Ohio was writing as a Mexican. And his stories were so vivid and sincere and genuine that everyone thought that he was in fact Mexican. And it wasn't until he died that it was discovered that he wasn't. Not only was he not Mexican, but he wasn't poor. At least he wasn't born poor. But he had this deep empathy for the working class. And it was as if he had never been born to wealth, but he was.